Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. The excitement is building as we gear up for one of the most anticipated events in the world of motorsport, the 2023 Grand Prix in Saudi Arabia. The event is taking place on Sunday, the 19th of March, and fans from around the globe are eagerly anticipating what promises to be a thrilling event. Stick around as we go into the details. Suffice it to say, this is only the second time ever that Formula One is racing in Saudi Arabia. Plus, it's the second round of Formula One racing for the year 2023. So you'd easily notice that Saudi Arabia likes it in twos, and the track is nestled in Jeddah in street racing style. The Jeddah Corniche track stretches or circles for 6.175 kilometers, or if you like 3.8 miles. It also includes up to 27 corners for an exhilarating ride. It's the circuit with the most corners ever, and drivers will have to complete 50 laps around it in the challenge. The race proper is slated for 5 p.m. GMT on Sunday the 19th of March. And did you know that Lewis Hamilton holds the record on this track for the fastest lap time at 1 minute and 30.734 seconds, which he clocked back in 2021? Then there's the handicap that DRS zones offer. There will be 3 of those in the Jeddah circuit. For those who don't already know, the DRS, or drag resistance system, is simply an adjustable flap at the rear of a Formula One car that can only be activated when a driver enters the designated zones. It comes in handy when a driver needs to overtake another car directly in front of him. He's only allowed to do this within the DRS zones. This element certainly brings a lot more fun to the race for the driver, his pit crew, and the spectators. But back to what we were saying, there would be up to 3 zones incorporated in the Jeddah circuit. The first will run between the 19th and 22nd corners. The second will come at the 25th turn, while the final zone will come in at the 27th turn, just between the start and finish lines. This last detection zone has been moved backwards a little toward the exit. This means the potentially hysterical gamesmanship will be contained somewhat. Remember the antics of Verstappen and Leclerc from last season? Not that it was a bad showing, but the F1 top dogs have anticipated this and have made the required adjustments with the Jeddah track. The reality is that if drivers dare to overtake each other at corner 27, they might be repassed at corner 1 yet again. The Aston Martin team has admitted that this juncture between corner 1 and corner 27 is invariably where the race will be won or lost for most drivers. Remember that corner 27 also signals the end of one lap, so essentially the beauty of the Jeddah circuit rests on this same start or stop point. Also, the walls between corners 14 and 29 have been moved back, just as the fence between turns 8 and 10 has been adjusted. All of this is in a bid to improve driver visibility. What's even more, corners 22 and 23 have been slightly tightened, so when drivers get to that point, they are compelled to slow down to at least 30 to 50 kilometers an hour. As usual, Pirelli will supply the tires for all the racing teams. These include the hard C2, the medium C3, and the soft C4. The circuit itself has a medium level of grip, but Pirelli has pointed out that it's the Middle East after all, and desert sand will most likely be blown onto the track. So this might alter the abrasiveness of the track going forward. This means most teams might opt for a single pit stop. Back in 2022, Verstappen's team did just that. And by the way, McLaren holds the record for the fastest pit stop time at 2.41 seconds. What about the weather? The metrology department and its field officers out there in the Saudi plains have said it will be a warm and dry weekend. The temperature will hover between 26 and 27 degrees, which is just right for qualifying runs through Sunday's main race, which will happen at 5 p.m. GMT. Verstappen, who drives for Red Bull, mentioned that he looks forward to driving in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. He also hopes that the changes made to the track will count for something. This is after he admitted that certain parts of the circuit were dangerous the last time he checked. So far, Red Bull Racing has been the dominant team since the Bahrain Grand Prix, which was the first race of the season. However, Verstappen says Jeddah presents an entirely different kettle of fish, and his team is prepared to meet the challenge, which is new in some respects. From Ferrari, Carlos Sainz says the Bahrain track is now behind them. Carlos admits that the Bahrain circuit is usually the most challenging of any racing season when it comes to degradation. And now that it's over with, drivers can dare to be more competitive going forward. The new Ferrari team boss, Fred Vasseur, has his work cut out for him. First on his plate is the grid penalty handed to Charles Leclerc. This invariably means a 10-place drop that Leclerc will need to overcome, and he has all season long to achieve this. The penalty arose when a third control electronics module was used by the Ferrari team. The rules say that only 2 are allowed at any given time, so it's a really tough start to the racing season for Leclerc, and we'll continue to watch that space to see how he fares eventually. The Mercedes team boss, Toto Wolff, has mooted that a few small improvements have been made to their racing car. In the same breath, he has said that the improvements are not necessarily game changers. Perhaps he's only trying to deflect the significance of the improvements. We can only wait and see what the team has been up to during the pre-event show. Likewise, other teams have hinted at little improvements, so look out for those too. Separately, the F1 bosses have confirmed that the Austrian Grand Prix calendar date will continue to be a fixture until at least 2027. A new 4-year deal has been reached to that effect. The Austrian race first appeared in the 2014 racing calendar and since then has been held at the Red Bull Ring. Stefano Domenicali, who is the current Formula One chief, praised the Austrian circuit for being such a challenging track as well as a beautiful venue for the fans. Now here are a few 2023 season stats for you F1 constructors out there. We know it's still early days, but again, it helps to know how it all started. Going into this weekend, Max Verstappen leads the championship with 25 points. His Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez only managed 18 points in second place. And Fernando Alonso, who was with Aston Martin this term, got 15 points in third place. On the flip side, Red Bull Racing leads the Constructors' Championship with 43 points so far. Aston Martin comes up second with 23 points, while Mercedes has managed 16 points to creep in at third on the leaderboard. So Red Bull has gotten off to a quick start for the season. This is after they won the Bahrain Grand Prix, which was the first race this year, so the Red Bull team is the one to beat in the second round of racing. And if the Bahrain circuit was challenging as reported, then what new twists does the Jeddah Corniche circuit hold? First off, it is very different from the Bahrain circuit. Some say it's easier, especially now that the hazards along its courseway have been dumbed down. But ultimately it comes down to the experience of the drivers. For one, Lewis Hamilton seems to love the Jeddah circuit, while some other drivers may not be as comfortable riding it. Still, this one could be hard to call and might really be a close race. Again, Red Bull has the advantage going in, and the 2 weeks in between the Bahrain and Jeddah races won't suddenly upset that advantage. Some pundits agree that it's each team's track. Certain teams fare better on certain tracks. So don't be surprised if Ferrari or Aston Martin take the day. The Jeddah track is less demanding on tires, so a team like Ferrari can't complain about degradation this time around, unlike in Bahrain. All in all, this is only the second race of the season, and it's still early to be able to definitely call it. But our money is on Verstappen, and it might turn out to be another Red Bull one, too. So brace yourselves for an electrifying weekend of Formula One racing. And don't forget to use your seatbelts. Thanks for watching, and cheers!